Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. Thank you for being here. You are going to love this channel for sure because we have amazing people that are subscribed, friendly, caring, and it's one big family. So thank you so much for being here with us. So before I start with the pattern that I'm still working on, obviously you'll see the picture already up. That's the end of the tutorial already, what I came up with. At this point, this is still the beginning. I have, of course, a clue and imagination on how I want this blouse, but usually I have a thought and I end up always with something else. But obviously I will end up with whatever you saw from the picture at the beginning. Okay, so this is a 4-ply, 100% cotton thread. Not too thin and not too thick, because a lot of you ask me all the time what kind of thread and the size, remembering that each brand in each country fabricates different sizes of 4. It could be thicker, it could be thinner. This is not too thick and it's not too thin. It's a little tiny bit less than Aunt Lydia number 3. Okay, so just to give you an idea, Aunt Lydia number 10 is too thin. So there's, unless you're going to use like 4 threads with it, 3 or 4 threads together. So I would refer this more like Aunt Lydia number 3, just a tiny little bit less thick, but very similar. What else? Hook number 3, small one, to tuck in loose ends, and of course a pair of scissors for cutting your extra pieces. Up top there's 3 little buttons on the right side. You can click there and you can slow down the video to the speed you like. Right next to the 3 little buttons there's the letter CC, stands for closed caption. If you don't see it there, when you open up the 3 little dots, it's in there. You can turn on your closed caption and you can read, pause the video, read all the words or the stitch that I'm calling out. Will make it easier for you to take notes and go along with the rows. Now, this blouse is very simple to create. It's a one-piece front and back together. It's just back and forth, front to the back, because we fold it half up top, okay? This is going to be a full medium to beginning large. Okay, you can go smaller, you can go bigger. If you want to go bigger, you have to keep adding 8 chain more to the beginning chains. Okay, example, fact. I started this side. We have to create 2 sides the same. This is going to be a V-neck also. So I'm going to close this part, the back part, with the other one that I'm going to create for the tutorial. I'm going to leave about 20 inch open for front and back V, and then I'm going to close here, back part, with the other pattern that I'm going to create, and then I'm going to close here the front part with the other pattern. So it's going to be one big piece just like that, and then I sewed in. So I've already closed this one here, sewed in, and I prefer to sew it in because you hardly could tell where I've sewed in, very barely. And I've also added sleeve to it, which I'm still working on it because I'm going to add flowers to the end, to the bottom of my pattern and onto my sleeves. Okay, by the way, this is this summer color, very bright lime green and oranges and stuff. In Europe, I don't know which country you're at, but this is what's going to be in the summer. It's already all over the stores, a lot of clothing in the same color. So I'm going to put this all the way around in the bottom and on my sleeves. Okay, now with this blouse, you can do it 1/4 way, sleeveless, or you can just leave it open as a sweater by just, closing the back part, front part. Of course, you're going to need to leave, not front part, just the back part. If you're leaving it as a sweater, you can even put 2 or 3 buttons on there and do a chain stitch to close in with your button. So you can do a lot of things with it. This is the seashell stitch. So very simple to create. Takes a little bit of time because it's a lot of stitching, but it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. Okay, so I hope you're going to enjoy this. I also want to remind everybody that a while back I had created a PayPal account to get everybody's help on supporting some of the women that cannot afford the thread to create patterns. They watch my videos, but they can't do it because they have no means to buy thread or yarn. I would appreciate and be very kindly happy, excited alongside with them if anybody can help out with whatever amount. Nobody's asking for millions here. You know, if everybody pitched in a couple of cents here, $1 there, $1 there, it all ends up at the end. So I can buy the thread for them and ship it out to them because it does cost me money. I am in Europe, so it's euros, you know, but when you PayPal, it automatically transfers to euros. Okay, so I really, really, really appreciate if you did help out. Or if you have many extra yarn or thread and you would like to ship it out yourself, please, below in the description box, I do have my Instagram. I do have my Facebook page. You can message me through there, or you have my email. You can message me through the email, and I'll be more than glad to send you their address, and you can send it to them registered mail just to make sure that they do get it. Okay, so I thank you so much, everybody, again, and we're going to get started on this pattern. Okay, so you're going to need, this is this is cream. So because there's so much stitching on this, it's probably like 600 to 700 grams on it. Okay, as far as for the green, the lime green, it's not that much, maybe like 50 grams or so, or less, to do the flowering. Okay, so we're going to get started, everyone. Thank you so much again for being part of this journey, and please share it on your Facebook. My videos, put it public so other people can recognize it, and please don't forget to give a thumbs up. It's really important for the video and for myself. And if you see the commercials, just let those 2 seconds go through, because everything helps with the video when these things do happen. So it's no different than watching TV, and you have to watch that commercial. Okay, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get started on this. Before I forget, before we even start with anything, I want to mention to you that I did create a crochet group, since I'm involved in so many groups, and sometimes it's very hard to keep answering to everybody on different groups. There's just like so many questions and so many comments, and to thank everybody for their beautiful comments. So I've decided to go ahead and create my own crochet group. Now I'm inviting you to be part of it. I'll list everything below on the description box in case you can't find it. If you go into Facebook, you could always type in crochet group and type in crochet art tutorials by Maggie Lopez group. So you can, request from there. All the requests to join, all the members to join the group will be pre-approved. I don't want the spamming and, all kinds of fraud people and fake people. So if you don't have a profile on your Facebook, don't even bother, because I'm not going to accept you, or my moderators won't accept you either. But if you do have a profile and you're interested on being in my group, then please, I welcome you with open arms, along with my beautiful moderators, which is Barbara Foote and Karen Young. So thank you so much, everybody. Just before I forget to let you go, I almost forgot to mention it, because this was just a last minute decision that I decided to do to create this crochet group. I think it will be fun, interesting, and we're there to help each other with the crochet. Okay, so thanks, everyone. Join in, please. So the first thing you want to do is the slip stitch knot. That doesn't count as a stitch, you're just closing it in. And for the medium to large, we're going to need 2 sides, right? The left and the right, because it's one piece already going from front to back. I am going to do 260 chain stitch. So you're going to have to do that on both sides, the same amount, 260 chain stitch. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing 260, because this flower is going to go on the bottom, so there's already enough length for it here, because I still have to do like the single or the half double crochet to add these flowers at the edge or at the sleeve, so I don't need, because normally if I didn't put the flowers, I would have done 280 chain stitch. That's for a full medium to a large. Okay, so now I had started to do yesterday my other side, and I forgot I wasn't doing the video, so I'm just going to do just going to start here a sample a little bit, and then we're going to continue through this one here. Okay, just so you know like how many chain stitch you need to do. So we're just going to do a little sample here, and then I'm going to go right into the one that I was doing yesterday. So you're going to do 260 chain stitch. Okay, let's say you've done 260 chain stitch. You're going to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So now you have 263, right? You're going to come back on the 4th space, and you're going to do double crochet and another double crochet on the same space. So basically you're going to have 3 double crochets, 1 chain. You're going to skip 1, 2, 3. On the 4th chain you're going to do a single, okay, and then 1 chain again. You're going to skip 1, 2, 3. On the 4th chain we're going to do the seashell. So 3 double crochets on the same space, 2 chain separation, and 3 more double crochets on the same space. Remembering that this this pattern is going to be worked from front to back. Okay, so we're going to have it like that, and then 1 chain. You're going to skip again, 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th one again you're going to do the single. Okay, and then 1 chain, and then skip 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to go ahead and do the seashell. Now, this is how you start off with this. Okay, let me just go back to the one I was working on that I totally forgot that I had to do the video for. So, you might have to go to video 2 if the video becomes too long. It takes too much memory on my cell phone. So I'll probably have to go to part 2. Good God, I have like knots here. Hold on a minute. Okay. So basically, we're going to go to the beginning. We did the 3 double crochets, 1 chain, skipped 4 space on the 4th one, skipped 3 space on the 4th one, single. Again, 1 chain. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space, 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet. For the seashell, all in the same space, 1 chain again, and continue. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space, single again. So we do this all the way to the end. Now remembering that we started with only half seashell, so we must finish with the half seashell. I have 30 seashells, not counting this. This is half. 30 seashells on mine. So that means it's 15 for the front and 15 for the back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is my 15th one. So basically this is going to be folded like that. And you have your back part and you have your front part. Okay, so once you get to the end, you're going to come exactly, you're going to, so we finished the 3 double crochet. We're going to do chain 1. We're going to come back in and do a single. Okay, and then 1, 2 chain. Where the single is, we're going to do 3 incomplete double crochet. 2 and 3, and we're going to close it all together. So it's going to stay like this. You have to remember this because it's going to be repeat rows. Let me see if I can just cut a little bit of the lighting here. Chain 2, come into the center of the seashell and do a single. Chain 2. Don't tighten it too much so the blouse doesn't start pulling. Again, 3 incomplete double crochet, and close it all together. This whole row will be like this. Chain 2 again, come into the center of the seashell, and a single. So we're going to repeat this like this all the way to the end. Coming to the end, we got to do the same thing. Chain 2 and then a single on the edge. Okay, but I'll meet you at the end just to make sure you don't get confused. Chain 2, and where the single is, 3 incomplete double crochet. Now, you can go as large as you like just by adding rows constantly. If you like it tighter, less rows. If you like it looser, then you do more rows. Okay, so this is how we're going to proceed. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, another thing I want to remind you that I should have right from the start when we did the chain stitch, make sure that you put over your shoulder, go to the length you'd like. Okay, in case either you're using with flowers or no flowers. So you know that, if you create a flower, you will measure it, right? So this is 7 centimeters. And then you add that 7 centimeters to whatever length you are doing up to the waist, up to the hip. So you know the length that you're going to get exactly with the flower on. If it's too short or too long, you need to keep adding more chain stitch. Let's say like the 280 that I mentioned from the beginning if I wasn't doing this. But I'm still adding a little bit of an edge then to add the flower. So it will give me my length. Okay, just to make sure on that. I almost forgot to mention because sometimes, I can't think of everything. Sorry. Okay, so now that we're going to continue on with this. So this is very simple. So like I said, this whole row will be like that. So 2 chain into the center of the seashell, single, 2 chain, and then do your 3 incomplete double crochet inside of the single here. And then I'll meet you at the end so we can continue on to the next row, and then it's going to be the same thing. 1 row of the seashell, 1 row of the double crochets. Okay, everyone, so we're getting pretty much to the end. I'll just take a little bit of lighting here. I did my 2 chain. I'm going to come and create my last incomplete double crochet. Now, reminder that if some of you have your stitches extremely tight, instead of doing 2 chains like I've done here, you can do 3. Okay, you should know how that goes. If your stitch is too tight, you add an extra chain. If it's too loose, then you cut down the chain. Okay, so 1, 2, and now we're going to come right into the corner here, right at the edge, and do our single exactly like we did here at the beginning. We did the single and then the 2 chain, correct? Now we're going to do 1 chain. We're going to turn our work, 1 chain, turn our work. I'm going to come directly into where we have the double crochets right here on the edge and create our seashell again. Now, if you find that it's pulling too much, instead of doing only 1 chain, you can do 2 chain. I'm okay with it because I'm giving it enough loosage. So 3 double crochet, 2 chain separation, and 3 more double crochet. So we're continuing again with the seashell. Now on the next one, we'll be doing the half seashell here on the edge, okay? But we'll get to it when we get to it, okay? So I'm coming in directly into the single here in the middle where we have the seashell. We have a single there. One way that you can know that if you're making a mistake or not is you're always going to have 2 singles in the center of the seashells, okay? So again, I'm coming in into the corner here and create my seashell again. And we're always going to repeat this pattern, okay? 2 chain and 3 double crochets on the same space because we're creating the seashell. So it's 1 row of 3 double crochet complete and 1 row of seashell coming into the center again. If your stitch is too tight, then you can do a chain separation between right after your seashell. You can do a chain and then your single. Okay, we did a chain here because it's the first row and I don't want it to be pulling too much. That's why we did a chain there. But as you go, it starts to loosen that up a little bit more, so there's no need for me to do it. But if you have the need to do it, then by all means, go ahead. Okay, so 3 double crochet, 2 chain separation, and 3 double crochet again. Okay, so now we're just creating the seashells coming into the center where we have the single on top of the seashell, another single. So you're always going to have 2 singles, okay? Because on the next row we're going to have the incomplete double crochet right on the single. Okay, so if you think it's a little bit confused, it's not confusing, but it takes a little getting used to at the beginning. Just rewind the video a bit and follow through with the same procedure, because now it's always going to be a repeat. The only difference was the 1 chain here at the beginning, so it doesn't pull too much, okay? So just continue to do that, and I'll meet you at the end. Don't forget that at the end, we must do the same thing. We're going to go directly into the corner here at the end and do our single on top of the single like we did here, okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've reached the end. I'm going to come where I have my single that we did with a single. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. I'm going to turn my work. I had mentioned that we're going to do the 3 double crochet, and I made a mistake by saying that's the next row that we're going to do the 3 double crochet. So now we are going to come in where the seashell, because we're going to start doing again the single. So we're pretty much going to repeat that first single. This is going to stay like that, and then it's going to be always a repeat of the same thing the next row. We're going to repeat the 3 double crochets, which is the half seashell, okay, and then we're going to continue on. So now we've did the single. I'm going to do 1, 2 chain. We're going to do the incomplete double crochet. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do 1 more row so you guys don't get confused, because it's just going to be a repeat now. 1, 2, single in the middle. So you know that the next row is going to be a single. Remember, I told you there's always 2 singles in 1 per row, of course, in the middle of the seashell. And every time we have the 2 singles in the middle, we need to create the 3 double crochet then complete. And of course, each time we have the 3 double crochets, we need to complete the seashell. Okay, so that's one way to memorize if you're making a mistake or not. So we're on the single, doing the 3 incomplete double crochet. All you have to do is just rewind a bit and follow through, and then 2 chain and a single. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to do to this row, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we're reaching the end. 2, and I'm going to do right on top of the single here in the corner. Make sure you go there or your blouse is going to be crooked. And I'm going to do a double crochet. So it's going to come the same thing as we did here at the beginning. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work. Chain 2 for me, for some of you is chain 3 on the same space. We're starting as if it was the first row again. So 3 double crochet. I'm coming into the center where I have the single on top of the seashell. Remember what I told you, it always has 2 singles. And where we have the 3 double crochet, it's always going to be seashells. So 1 row of incomplete double crochets and 1 row of the seashells. So 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. Okay, so it's like coming and redoing the beginning again. So you know that the next 2 rows you have a single, and then you have the another single, because it's always 2 on the double crochet on the seashells, and this is half seashell, right? And then chain 5, and then the next row we do the double crochets again. Okay, so all you have to do is just rewind. Let's say from here you can rewind and then go ahead and create the same things, or actually not from here, but from here, from the first one, because it's like you're starting the first row again. Okay, so you're doing the seashells where we have the 3 double crochets, and like I said, if your stitch is too tight, then you can do a chain separation, and then we continue on from there. So I'm going to continue to the end, and then I'll come back to you once more on it, just to make sure that you are not confused. So remembering, this is like doing row 1 again. It's like you're doing the beginning, you're recreating it again. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we're pretty much reached the end, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to come right here on my second double crochet. Remember, we did a 5 chain. So from this row here on my third, from the one down here is my second. So I'm going to do the 3 double crochets exactly like we did at the beginning. So this would be basically as your same as your first row. Okay, so we're going to turn our work. We're going to do 1 chain on the same space, single, and 2 chain. We're going to come in. So this is like doing the second row now. Okay, exactly like we did here. And we're going to do the 3 double crochets incomplete, 2 chain, come into the center of your seashell, and a single, 2 chain. So it's just a repeat all the way to the end. Just repeat the same process exactly like we did on the second row here. Okay, we're here. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so reach the end. I'm going to do my 2 chain, and I'm coming right on the corner and do my single exactly how we started at the beginning. I'm going to turn my work. This is as if we're doing the third row. So we're repeating the pattern. The only thing that changes is, 4 rows at the beginning and at the end. We have to do the same thing, okay? So I'm coming in with 1 chain, 1 single, and I'm coming directly into the 3 double crochets here, and I'm doing the incomplete double crochet. Just want to check something, make sure that actually we need to do 1 chain here, sorry. So the single 1 chain, and then coming in and do the incomplete double crochet. So you're just going to repeat this, and then the next row is going to be chain 5, okay, which is like row 4, and then row 5 we're going to do the 3 double crochets on the corner on top of the chain 5, okay. So 1, 2, where we have the single on top of the seashell, do a single, and then come again, and I'm sorry, I don't know why I was doing this, sorry about that. Good God. Okay, so just a single, I forgot that we're doing is the seashell, so we're grabbing right in the corner here of the 3 double crochets, and we're creating our seashell, so that's why I'm not doing any chain stitch there, just a single for our turn, and 3 double crochet, 2 chain separation, and 3 more double crochet. Okay, so it's just like a repeat pattern of it, and then coming in to the single with a single and coming directly. Now if your stitch is too tight, don't forget you can do a chain in order for it not to be pulling. Doesn't change anything on the pattern. And create your seashell again, 3 double crochet, 2 chain separation, and 3 more double crochet on the same space, coming into the single on top of the seashell, and create your single again, coming into the 3 double crochets right on the corner here, and create your 3 double crochets, your 2 chain separation, and 3 more double crochets on the same space. Okay, so this is as if we're doing row 3. So continue yours, and I'll come back to you at the end for the last row. Okay, you guys, getting to the end. I'm going to come right on top of the single that we did. Right on the corner, and create a single. Okay, so now this is like going into row 4. Okay, so this row we're going to do the 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to come in where the seashell is and do a single. Now the next row, let's say like row 5, you're going to repeat again like row 1, the 3 double crochets, then the single, and then you're going to continue on to do your seashell. So I'm going to just stop here, because the next row is like starting row 1 again. So now we're doing the 3 double crochets incomplete, 2 chain, and it's always a repeat pattern. Okay, so if you need to rewind a couple of times to get it straight, then you do that. Okay, so you got to do the same thing at the end. Do chain 2, and then a double crochet at the end, because chain 5, this would be like the 3 for double crochet and then 2 for separation. So you would do the same thing at the end. Now you're going to go to the size of that you need, because obviously we're creating the wideness of the blouse, because we're working the length already back and front. So now you have to keep going as many rows as you need. You can measure from underneath your armpits all the way to the middle of your chest to see how wide you would like your blouse to be. If you like it loose, you continue on to do more rows. If you want a little bit tighter, well, then you stop at the size that you think is perfect. I'm going to continue on mine, and once I am done, I'll come back to you so we can stitch it together, back and front, and also for the sleeves, okay? I believe I have 19 centimeters here on mine, but I'll come back to you on it. You will need, of course, one of these thick, has to fit your thread into it well, to sew in both pieces together, okay? And unless you want to do single crochets on it. I prefer to be this way because, like I mentioned before, you hardly see the stitch on it when it's stitched by hand. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end, everyone. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing my left side, right side, whatever side you want to call it, because they're both the same thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. Okay, so make sure that you have them, your motifs here lined up properly. Like that. Now you're going to measure your shoulder to the under armpit. Now on mine I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is, now you have to measure yours because everybody's arms, some are thicker, some are thinner. I have very thin arms, so I don't need that much. I just measure mine here. Hopefully I can get you here on camera. So this is the side that I finished, and I've already put my flowers on. So I have 4 of them. Okay, I had to put 6 and I had to take 2 out. It was so large, and then I added 4. So then we'll get to that when we get to the other side. So it really depends. Sometimes you might even take 5 or 6. Depends on your arms, if they're big arms or small arms. I don't know. Let me just get this straight here. So I have 18 centimeters, and I'm going to close my shoulder, under armpit here on this one. So I absolutely, so you know what you're going to do is you're going to sew the side. I know it's 6 modes, so 18 would come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's exactly on my 6th one, 6th motive here. But we'll get to that once we, so I have my needle, and you need to line them up properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. Okay, so we're going to put right side with right side facing each other, and you have to get them exactly on the stitch. So we're closing the side here. So we're just going to grab the outside of the now just make a knot, because you don't want it to be coming apart. 2 or 3 knots, I should say, just to make sure. I'm going to do one more knot here. Now, try to hide my thread at the same time. Now, we're going to go back and forth, back and forth. So I'm going to grab, see if you can see it before I start stitching. So I'm going to grab the outside loop, or should I, the outside on this side with the outside on this side, the one facing me. So you grab the outside loop here, and then this one, and then the outside loop here, and then the outside. So the two inner ones stay in, okay? So you're just going to go back and forth. Just like that, and you're going to stitch it all the way up until you meet the 18 centimeters, 20 centimeters, depending upon your underarm stitch, right? So I'm just going to grab the outside ones. What do I mean by the outside ones? We have the 2, 1, and 2. So you grab outside here, and then you have the 1 and 2. So you grab the outside here, okay? Never the inside one. You don't want that. You grab the outside one. All of these outside ones here, and then all of these outside ones here, okay? So I'm going to continue to do that back and forth. And make sure that they're lined up properly, or else you're going to run into obstacles. So now I'm just going to, okay, so I'm on this side, so I have to come to this side here. And then into this side here. And then again. And then once you reach the top for the exact measurement for the underarm, then you're good to go. So I'm going to continue mine, and you can see it gives it that perfect finish that you hardly see where the stitch is, okay? So this is the side. What do I mean by the side? Exactly like this side here. So we're closing it until here. Mine is 18 centimeters, and then you cut your thread, okay? And then we'll proceed to do the sleeve. And then, of course, we're going to attach the front and back together. Not front and back, back with back. And then front and front. And you need to measure, if you're doing a V, the size of V that you want to come to. So you'd measure on your neck, and you do the same thing on here. Okay, I'll come back to you once I'm finished doing the side stitching on here. Okay? Okay, you guys. So I pretty much finished it, and I've sewed up until my 18 centimeters, which was 6 of these motifs. Okay, so I've closed on my side. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side, obviously. And as you can see, it doesn't leave you a big knot thing here, right? It's almost like you can't even tell. And then, of course, once you press it and everything, and they're just perfectly matched together. Okay, so now I've already put enough thread on my needle. And then you need to measure how big you want to leave your V-neck. So you would measure from your neck area on your neck and go down to the middle of your chest, or how big you want to leave your chest out. I don't know, but I'm going to measure mine. Okay, you guys, so I've measured the size of V I want, so I'm leaving mine at 25 centimeters back and front. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little different color of thread so I know where to stop when I'm stitching. Very simple. Do the same thing to this one here, so we don't make no mistakes, one higher and one lower. Now you'd open it up and you do your back part. You would fold right side with right side, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to come right in the corner here. And we're going to make a knot. Make sure that nothing comes apart. So we're stitching the back with back. And I'm just going to do one more knot. So I have like 3 knots on there just to make sure. I'm not going to worry about the excess thread that's left over because I could always hide it in here. Okay, so again, we're going to take the outside loop with outside loop, and you're going to stitch this until the desired length of your V-neck in the back, because you can have it also more closed in the back if you want and more open on the front. I'm having them both the same, but one of my other blouses I did a little bit shorter in the back and the V-neck a little bit longer in the front. This one I'm just going to do them the same size. So I have 25 centimeters, so you go accordingly to the size you would like of that opening. Okay, so I'm going to continue this once I reach where I put the green thread. Then I'm cutting it, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the front area. I'm going to put the green thread on the front area and stitch my front until the V part. Okay, so I'm going to do my back and my front and then come back to you on it with the sleeve part, and then we'll do the waist. Okay, everyone, so we pretty much closed front and back, right? Right here and here. Look how nice it looks. So we have the V, front and back, and now we're going to come to the sleeve part. So we're going to start by the underarm sleeve, and we're going to do half double crochets, just like here. So here I started half double crochets, and then I did rows of double crochet. Anyway, not double crochet, but the groups like we did. So we're going to do half, and I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the center, 1, 2, 3, center, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so slip stitch knot, come right underneath the underarm pit. I'm going to start right underneath it with a single. Try to hide my thread at the same time. I'm going to go up chain 1, the next space, half double crochet. Into the space here between the motives, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. Not double crochet, 3 halves, sorry. I don't know why he keeps saying them doubles. So 3 halves. One in the center of the stitch and 3 more in between. 2, 3, 1 in the center of the motif. All halves, always 3 inside of the space. Here, 1 on top of the single, and then 3 again. So it's just pretty much a repeat. One on top of the single. You don't have to do this, by the way. Like I said, you can leave your blouse sleeveless or whatever. You know, you can do so many things to this pattern. It's like unbelievable. So 3, 1 in the center. And we're going to continue to do this all the way around. And then I'll come back to you on it. Okay, you guys. So I finished mine. And I've closed with a slip stitch where I started my single and 1 chain. So now we're going to do this one here, which is almost the same thing as the, well, it is the same thing as the seashell, okay? So we're pretty much going to do the 3 double crochets, 2 chain, 3 double crochets, and then go right over. So we're right here. We're going to do 1, 2 in the same space, 2 more double crochet. Pull my thread here. 2 chain in the same space, 3 more double crochet. We're going to come right here where the single is. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and single. And again, I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. Right on the 4th one, we're going to do the seashell again. So basically, it's just going to meet up where the other seashells are. 2 chain, and again, 3 double crochet. So 1, 2. This one's going to be on the 3rd because we have the single here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 on the 4th one. Again, it's in the middle of the seashell here. And we're going to create seashell. 2 chain and 3 more double crochet. I know my singles here, but if you want to count 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3 on the 4th one. So you know 1 is 3 and 1 is 4 of skipping, right? All you have to do is just see where they land and then put yours, okay? Everybody's stitch is different. Yours could be wider, could take more stitches. So I know it's going to end up here. I'm not even counting anymore. And I'm going to come here. Okay, and then coming back in right here. So go all the way around, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, you guys, so the link to the flowers, for some of you that follow me, should know already that the link is, or the video is up for these flowers. So basically, now because I know I have 4 only on each arm, right? Try to lower this here, good God. So you know I have 4 only. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my 4 all together, and as I'm doing my last row here, I'm just attaching to the flower. But you can do it just like this, one by one, so you can make your flower, and you could come back to your pattern. I'm going to make my other ones, and I'm going to attach it on. So basically, so this is where we left off, under the under armpits. Pull my thread here. So we close in with a slip stitch. Now I'm going to do the walk. I call it the walk with a slip stitch to the center. And I'm going to do my groups of seashells, so 3 double crochet. Now I'm not doing no chain separation. Coming directly back with back on my flower. And continue to do the double crochets. So we have it hooked once. Try to see the lighting is okay. So I'm coming in where the single is with a single, and right into the next seashell, doing the 3 double crochets and grabbing back with back, the next loop right over, single, and complete my double crochet. So this is going to be put on. Let me see if this is right, because I know I did a little magic to it on the other side. Okay, so I'll put the next flower and you'll see my little magic trick, so it doesn't leave too much of an opening. Okay, so then we come here with a single, and then create your 3 double crochet. Now I'm gonna add my flower on there because I had it halfway ready. I'm gonna finish it up, and I'm going to add onto the 2 here. Okay, so very simple. I'm going to add it on here with a single, come back, try to hide this thread here at once. So you could already, if you know the measurements of your flower, once you do it on one side, you go into the next side and you just add your flowers first, and then you can do on your last stitch by stitching them in. And I'm going to add my flower here also, so we could always have the flowers added like that. Okay, so I'm going to finish this one up. Now, like I said, I probably have to go to video 2. 1 chain separation and Okay, so I'll finish my flower and then I'll come in and meet you right at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've added my flower onto the flower. My string is still there, I didn't tuck it in yet. Doesn't matter, do it after. So here I am. Now, because I don't want to just put it where the seashells here, it will give me a big space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right in between the two flowers, okay, and I'm going to do a single and continue to do my 3 double crochets, and then into my single. And I'll show you in a second once I'm done, so you'll understand what I've done here. So 3 double crochets again. Then you would proceed the normal way of adding onto your paddle here on the flower, like we just did with the other one. So we add by 2s, and you'll see once I finish here. Come into the single. And come and do the other seashell paddle, if you want to call it. Of course, my hands are stretching, so it tends to come out of the... So now we're going to add, because we're always adding the flowers by 2 paddles, right? And continue to finish doing the seashell, so the 3 double crochets. And I come into the single, and I'm just going to show you now. So now you understand what I mean. So you always add the flowers by 2 petals. I've done a center one here, so it gives me all the same amount of space on them, and not one big space here. And then you just continue on to do the same thing. Add your 2 petals on the flower here, 2 petals on the flower here, and you close it in with the 2 petals there. So this would be your sleeve, right? And in between the flower, you hook one of the seashells, so you can have the same space and not big holes on the sleeve. So continue yours, and I'm going to continue mine, come back to you, and then we'll go to the waist part. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much closed my sleeves up with the flowers. So this is the V, front and back. This is the flowers, just closed up. Now, this is optional if you want to put them or not, and you could also do another single crochet all the way around if you want. I'm leaving as is. I think it's just fine the way it is. And this one's done too. Okay, I know it's small, but you've probably seen it on the picture. I'll put the picture up here also. Now, this is up to my waist. I want it to go down middle of my hip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same seashell stitch in the bottom, just to give it a little bit more length. Not too much, because this already has enough length, a bit of length here. Okay, but I'm going to give it a little bit more so I can extend a little bit more the length on the blouse. This is optional too, or you can just do, if you're using the 2 colors with the flower like I did, you can just do double crochet or a half double crochet with, let's say, the green, for example. I'm going to continue on with my cream just to give it length, and I'm going to start it by the side just so I don't have marks in front or back. So slip stitch knot, same thing as we did, we're going to do with I'm going to come right here where we have the 3 double crochets, where we did the adding or the closing the sides. I'm going to do single, 1 chain, and then I'm coming into the center here. And do 3 double crochets, 2 chain, 3 more double crochets, and I come in right where we have the 3 again here, single, and then come in here and do the seashell. I'm going to do this all the way around. Two chain, and 3 double crochets. I think I have a knot here, don't I? Okay, so I'll come back to you on it. I have to get that knot out. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to come in where I have the 3 double crochets here, single, come in where I have right in the corner of the seashell here, because this is a seashell, and continue with seashell. So very simple. We're going to do this all the way around. That's just in case if you need a little bit more length. I wasn't sure if I did at the beginning the 280 chain, I wasn't sure if it was going to be too long because of the flowers, so I decided only to go with 260, but I do need a little bit more length, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay everyone, so I pretty much arrived at the end, which is the beginning where I started the seashell. Now I'm going to do the incomplete 3 double crochet. So this doesn't change anything from what we did here on the pattern. I'm going to continue to do this until the desired length, and then I'll come back to you with the flower attachment, and then we're pretty much done with the blouse. 1, 2, come into the center of your seashell with a single. In the single, we're going to create the 3 double crochet incomplete. So I'm most probably going to do like 4 rows of this. I'm going to keep measuring, putting it on, and see if it hits me in hip area or close to the hip area, so then I can add my flowers. So I have these 2 rows here. This is the second row that I'm working on now. I am probably going to do 4 rows of this, so one more seashell, and then 1 more of this, because then the next one will be probably the attachment with the flowers, exactly like we did on the sleeves. So I'll come back to you once I'm finished my measurement, the height that I need or the length that I need for my hips, and then I'll come back and we'll add the other flowers on the waist. Okay everyone, so I pretty much did the length that I needed on here, as you can see. So I did, I don't know how many rows I've done here. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So on my last row, this is where I come in and add my flowers. Now I don't know how many it's going to take, as I didn't count a stitch, but I did already a lineup of them, make it easier on me. So I'm going to do my 2, or should I say 3 double crochet. I'm just going to come in and back to back, single on my paddle. No different than what we did to the sleeves. Very simple, nothing to it. Of course, a little bit of work going through all of, all these stitches, but it's a beautiful blouse at the end. Makes it very, very chic or sporty. Okay, so now we're coming into the single. And right into the next space where we have the 3 double crochets from the previous, oops, no chain here. And then grab the other paddle. So we're adding on the 2 paddles. Now you can just do the bottom, just, the paddles, or if you don't want to have too much space, then you'd come in and do the seashell stitch right in the center between both flowers. Come in back to back, still the same way, so no different than what we did with the flower, the sleeves, and then come back and complete the rest of the seashell on here. So I'll show you in a second what it looks like. And then just going to do one more so you can see better what it looks like, what I've done here, because sometimes by doing this you won't be able to see it as well. I'm coming into the next flower, back with paddle, and complete the paddle here, or the seashell, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it whatever comes to mind, either paddle or... Okay, so pretty much this is going to... I'll just move this so you can see. So, and I made a mistake here, so I'm missing 3, so I'm going to have to come back and fix it. So, as you thank God we looked at it, right? Because then I would have had only 3 here. That's a no-no. Has to be the same thing. So basically you would do your paddle, your seashell here. Then if you don't want a big gap here, you want it to look like all the same size like this one, then you would continue doing the center here. And you do this all the way around until you close it. I think it's pretty good like this, but if you want to finish the edge here with a single, go ahead, or half double crochet. I'm not doing nothing else to it. I'm going to leave it that way. I think there's enough decorations on it. So I want to thank every single one of you again. This is pretty much it for this tutorial. We're just going to continue on to do the same thing. So you'd attach here, and then again come to the next one. You do your seashell here on the center between the 2 flowers, and then you continue on with the petal here and the petal there. Thank you so much, everybody. Sending you guys much love, much hugs. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Any questions, please feel free to look me up on the description box. Everything will be there. And as I mentioned, I've created my own crochet group. So if you're interested to be part of my crochet group, then you can just check below in the description box to click it out there. Or you can just find me in the crochet, if you punch in on Facebook, crochet group, crochet art tutorials by Maggie Loeb. It's the same picture as my my profile. Everything is the same thing, and I will see you there. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye. Okay, everyone, I had to come back and show you that I've changed up the stitch here a bit, because the other way around that I was doing it, it was pulling too much and it was minimizing the size around the hip. It was really like going too small. So I've taken it down, and I've done where we have the single after the attachment on the 2 paddles, chain 3 into the single with a single, chain 3 into the single with a single, and chain 3, because I wanted this part here to close up a little bit more. I mean, you could simply just do the paddle with paddle and leave all of this big triangle open if you want to. But I wanted to close it up so I can firm all the, I guess, bring out the beauty in the blouse. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I did, and I wanted to come back and show you so you don't see the picture is different than what the tutorial is all about. So basically I'm coming back to finish my paddle here, or my seashell. I'm going to come into my single here with a single, so this doesn't change, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, chain 3. So where I have on the flower my single between paddles, doing the single, 1, 2, and 3, chain again, I'm coming into the next single on the flower here with a single, and 1, 2, and 3, coming back down, where we started the single, so I can have that triangle. So it's going to give you that triangle look. And then I'm coming directly into the next paddle and continue on attaching the paddles. Now, I mean, you do what you think is best for you. If you want to leave it open, or if you need to tighten it more around the waist, well, the way that I was doing it was a perfect way because it really did shrunk that waist area. But no, it wouldn't be good for me. So coming in again into the single, so I finished my attachment, and then we are going to attach the other paddle, and then again on the single over here we're going to do the chain exactly like we did here. So I think this should be good enough for it. Tie my other paddle here. And it gives that support also with the flowers because it becomes heavy, right? So into the single, 1, 2, and 3. Come where the single here on the flower. Oh my goodness, did a mistake. Tied into the same space, my paddle, not good. So you have to be careful. Sometimes you think you're on the next paddle and you're actually doing it on the same paddle. So that's not good, because then if you don't look at it and you continue on, you're going to have to take all the flowering down. That wouldn't be a good idea, right? So we got the 2 paddles in. I think it looks much better this way because it closes up. So 1, 2, and 3. And then going to the single with the single. 1, 2, and 3. Into the next flower where the single is, right? 1, 2, and 3. And then come back down into the single where we started and go directly into the next paddle. So very simple to create, nothing to it. Pull my thread here before my pattern comes apart. So like this, it won't be pulling on the flowers. Okay, and it stays nice and flat. It's not like pulling all of the pattern here like that. And it covers all of this up too at the same time. Okay, so I just want to come back and let you know. But you can work it, see whatever way you think is best for you, where you don't need to put this. You just attach the paddles on. Okay, thank you, everyone.